Look, what's his idea for our economy? He says he wants to give another tax cut, a $5 trillion tax. That's not a joke. A $5 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. Last time he did a $2 trillion tax cut and set the biggest debt, increased the national debt more than any other president has in any single term. And by the way, to pay his taxes to the wealthy, he wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Not a joke. Not a joke. In addition to terminating the Affordable Care Act, he wants to repeal what we did to lower prescription drug costs. He wants to bow down to Big Pharma again. Kamala finally beat Big Pharma. We gave Medicare the power to negotiate prescription drugs like the FDA does for veterans. Look, the VA and seniors with disabilities are now paying $35 a month instead of $400. And starting in January, all the seniors on Medicare will have a total prescription drug cost capped at $2,000 a year, no matter how much they have to spend. Okay, cancer drugs. Excuse me. We ain't going back. By the way, our Medicare reforms not only save seniors the Medicare money. You know how much they save the taxpayers? $160 billion, that one passage. Why? Because Medicare is paying $35 instead of $400, for example. Trump wants to take all that away. But Kamala wants to expand everything so it exists for everybody in the nation. Look, he wants to cover the elder under Medicaid. Trump would get rid of the $369 billion Kamala passed, most ever in the history of the world, to deal with climate change. And by the way, no climate change out there, right? I just spent a week from Florida to North Carolina. It's devastating. You know why? Because the ocean water is warming, increasing significantly the threats of significant weather. How does it make you feel after the last hurricane that I've ripped through this country, knowing that we're going to cut back on? Look, Trump wants a new sales tax. A new sales tax on goods we import in significant numbers. Up to 85% of all the seafood we eat is imported. 60% of the fresh fruit, 40% of the vegetables. We import coffee, clothing, and so much more. And according to all the economists, if his sales tax were to, in fact, pass, the average family would have an increase in their cost of $400 a year. Or $4,000 a year, excuse me. $4,000. And look, it's a surprise that we got a guy who can't afford to say the word union, wants to get overtime and hardworking folks taken away. No, he's doing it again. That's what he says. He said he and his allies, they support workers in the middle class. Give me a break. Look, this is from the same guy who calls himself a great protector of women. Come on. Folks, look, there's the same guy who's been held liable for $83 million for sexual abuse and defamation. Same guy for getting rid of Roe v. Wade. The same guy who has 3 other major cases waiting for him when he loses. And by the way, 34 felonies. So far, he hadn't got sentenced. He got the sentence kicked back, but I want to watch that sentence. Look, Donald Trump's not running for you. He's running for himself. I think he's running to stay out of jail. What's he got left? Trump's whole come down to demonizing immigrants. Call immigrants animals. Saying they don't have good genes. Saying they poison the blood of our country. It's sick. You know, it's designed to prey on our worst fears. It's un-American. Think about it. Trump hides all his racism, or used to, but now it's just out front. He has the same ideas on race as the 1930s. Trump's ideas in the economy are from the 20s. Trump's idea in women are from the 50s. And folks, this is 2024. We can't go back. We've made too much progress. We have to keep moving forward. And folks, for all the talk about issues and policies is all important, the real measure of a president is character, integrity, judgment, temperament. Because here's what I can tell you. Every president is confronted with crises no one saw coming. And in that moment, what matters about a president is the president. Does he have integrity? Does she have integrity? A code of honor that they live by? What belief system guides their decisions? How do they handle pressure? How do they respond when things don't go their way? Will they uphold their oath and honor the Constitution? With Donald Trump, we know the answer. Just ask yourself, how did Donald Trump handle COVID crisis when he saw it coming? How we know from Bob Woodward's book how Trump lacks character and can't be trusted? Trump deliberately led the American people to believe that it wasn't a dangerous thing, COVID. I remember how he told us to inject bleach. Remember that? Bless me, Father. In the middle of the COVID crisis, this guy gave Putin, we came out recently, he gave Vladimir Putin COVID tests that were desperately needed by Americans at home, and he gave it to Putin. Trump cares more about kissing up to Putin than he cares about your sons and daughters. You know, we lost over 1 million people in COVID. Think about how many we could have saved if it wasn't for his pure incompetence and selfishness. Think about the 2020 election Trump lost. Kamala beat him by 7 million votes, but Trump couldn't accept it, despite the rulings of more than 60 courts, including the Supreme Court. He embraced the big lie that threatened the lives of elected officials and poll workers. He sent violent mobs to the U.S. Capitol on January 6th to stop a peaceful transfer of power. He sat in the dining room off of my president's office, the Oval Office, and did nothing for 3 hours as police were being attacked and killed. Lawmakers were forced to hide for their lives. According to the report, when Trump told the mob was looking for Mike Pence to hang him, you know what Trump's response was? So what? Let me tell you something. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. If you can't denounce January 6th, you have no business being president. And look, Trump hasn't changed. I would argue he's gotten worse. Clearly, he lost the election in 2020. He snapped. No, I mean it. He's become unhinged. Look at his rallies. Last night, his rallies stopped taking questions because someone got hurt. And guess what? He stood on the stage for 30 minutes and danced. I'm serious. What's wrong with this guy? Listen to him, how he's going to, after the institution of democracy, if Trump is elected again, he says he'll use the Justice Department to attack his political enemies. He says he'll fire 500,000 civil servants and replace them with Trump loyalists. He just said he could use the U.S. military to go after U.S. citizens he disagrees with. He said it. He still refuses to accept the results of 2020. And he's refusing to accept the results of the 2024 election if he loses again. Look, folks, every generation faces a moment where democracy has to be defended. This is our moment. I believe in my core. When we beat Trump in 2020, we saved American democracy. Now we have